Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
With the lady right there. Live from the Loft 100 Studios in Sunny City, California. Big Biz Show is on the air, and yes, we went to the Padre game yesterday, didn't we? Even Howie was there. Howie was with us. Howie was back in New York now, went to the Padre game, and he can attest to everything that was happening.
Hey.
Howard, how are you, sir? Nice to see you.
There was a general lack of conduct. Yes, I agree.
A general lack of conduct. Very good.
Good conduct.
Can we just delist the Padres? Like Howie,
Yes.
when a company gets delisted off of NASDAQ, that means they're trading under $1 a share for a certain amount. They get listed to the bulletin boards, and if they can't maintain a certain level of filings and corporate governance in the bulletin boards, they get relegated down to the pink sheets, and then they basically will be a public.
Works for me.
It's called a public shell, but
Yeah.
I love.
You were a shell of a team yesterday.
The greatest thing, but listen, we have like the third largest payroll in Major League Baseball or something, and the best part is there was this really cheesy, every team has a song, right?
Yes, they
right?
do, yeah.
And Padres got a song, I think back in the 90s called Let's Go Padres. And yesterday, it was one of those plays where you have three outfielders and the ball goes right in the middle, and Mike yells out, "Let's go Padres." It was the greatest thing. It was the greatest line of the whole thing.
It was a pathetic game.
Howard, what's going on? What's going on in the market? What are you talking about today? Howie and I were talking today about doing a couple things with Howie, like talking to us about nonsensical things. Like, do you realize how much time is spent on XYZ at the office and how much it costs businesses? Yeah. I was also thinking about we should do a segment called "Whatever Happened To," because all those businesses that were like top of the top, like Groupon. Remember when Groupon was the thing?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Anyway, what are you talking about today, bud?
Well, my partner in crime, Devin, and I were talking, and he doesn't really get big numbers. So I wanted to give an example of a really big number and kind of express it in a different way. So if we take all the days, weekends, holidays, everything, since the Great Pyramid was built up to a week ago, and we say you're making $500,000 a day. So think about how long that is.
So if I made let me just rephrase this. So if I made $500,000 a day, starting at Giza, when the pyramids were born, all the way up to last weekend, okay, $500,000 a day. How many years is that? Do we know? Have we figured out? A lot of years.
6,000,
Okay.
something like that.
So 6,000 years of 500 grand a day.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I call that? Fernando Tatis Jr. So what? So you're going to tell us how much we would have?
Think about how long that is. Think about that amount of money. It's less money than the federal government raised to spend through from March to September.
Oh my God.
March to September, we're spending.
If you spend $500 million
a day for 6,000 years.
Wow.
If you spend okay, hold on.
That just put it in.
If you spend half of 1,000 million per day, which is 500 million, which is 1,000 million is a billion, right?
Yes.
So $500 million per day I earned from the day they capped that right on top of the Giza thing.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
All the way up until last weekend. It would be equal to what?
March to September's federal spending. Doesn't that seem insane?
Well, with that, show's over, Shakespeare.
Yeah, we are
Put it
using a
into
lot of dough, and it means things like we're not just capping our pyramids and teeth with gold plates. I mean, people are hoarding gold all the time, and we're just seeing it everywhere.
Oh my God.
So we need to know. We need to be alerted. This is a crisis.
Thank you, Howard. We'll see you tomorrow. Howie Fonts.
Oh my God. It's shocking.
Puncturepreneur with the best hair. We'll spend more time. We'll spend more time with him tomorrow. Straight from New York. All right, Big Biz Show. The show goes on. I do want to talk about baseball and pastimes.
I learned some interesting facts yesterday in the game.
We need to talk about that because we're doing a rule check with Mary. Who are all those people? Loft 100 Studios, the Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks. If we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer@salientgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
Hey there, live from the Loft 100 Studios in sunny San Diego, California. Big Biz Show is on the air, and good to have you guys along. So you had a great day yesterday. We were just talking about going to the Padre game. A little more that bean footage here yesterday for Jared. Here we go. Can we see a little more of my Costa footage, please?
Oh, you don't have to.
Oh, yes. Bring that up. That's fantastic. Mike was the. In fact, I brought some of the goodies we had yesterday.
Open
a few
those
more desserts
things.
left
Bust
there.
those out. Oh, I want a cookie.
Some cookies.
Oh my God.
And of course, there's Mike.
Yeah.
You like one?
And here they are back in here, Michael. Nothing says baseball like caramel cravings.
Ooh, those dirty chips though.
Who doesn't want a red vine right this second?
Right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I ate almost a whole box by myself.
Oh,
that poor
I love
lady.
how you dumped over the Cracker
Jacks.
You know why I dumped the Cracker Jacks into those little hot dog things for you? So I could pick all the peanuts out before I gave it to you.
Diabolical.
There was 4 in each bag.
Yeah, I know. And Matty Chess, our sergeant at arms, handed me his prize out of one bag.
What was the prize, man?
It's like they're
a sticker?
Yeah,
remember when they were ring? I got a Batman ring one time.
Thank you. It was a prize.
Yeah.
Real prize.
Morons.
A sticker in every package.
Yeah, thanks.
A fake tattoo in every. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I got the picture of Jack, like a sticker of Jack.
I got a picture of Jack.
What is Jack?
I got a picture of Jack.
Jack's a jerk.
Jack's a jerk.
What's that?
Hey, Augie Doggy, Jack's a jerk. I thought you were talking about Jack.
No, not that Jack.
That's pretty good.
Can we discuss? I remember San Diego Stadium, as it were called, Jack Murphy Stadium, was the first stadium in the country to start serving more than hot dogs and hamburgers and peanuts and soda pops and beer. They started serving. They didn't just go. You think they go to like the taco? No.
No.
We went to sushi.
I was going to say. Yeah.
We served sushi at a ballpark, and it made national news.
Yeah.
Now,
Randy Jones barbecue.
no, you were talking about 2000 and late, sister.
Oh.
We're talking about what?
That was 80s.
I'm talking about when we first introduced it. It was the late 80s.
Sushi.
When we had sushi, and then in the 90s, of course, we started seeing more cuisine. Randy Jones barbecue, for example. Randy Jones Hall of Fame pitcher actually he's not Hall of Fame pitcher. Is he Hall of Fame pitcher?
Padres Hall of Fame.
Padres Hall of Fame.
Major League Baseball.
So, but if you go to Petco Park now, it's teeming with economic impact. There's nothing but spending going on. Not only are we a craft beer city here in San Diego, so you've got every craft beer, but you have so many offerings of food. You could have anything you want. You have vegan fare. You have, I think they have, honestly, they have a tandoori restaurant that's coming in, and I'm not joking about it. They've got Indian food coming in. They've got, of course, the hot dogs, hamburgers, stuff like that, but now they've got deli sandwiches like that you get. You know the best delis in the world in my mind are the ones you walk into the liquor store and they have the deli counter there?
Always.
And they got the ones with the shaved lettuce.
Oh, yeah.
There's a place called Board and Brew that does the same thing here.
Yep.
So, and of course you walk in there and you couldn't get caramel cravings in the old days.
Never.
You couldn't get,
no.
Well, you could always get that, but you couldn't get donuts.
No, donuts.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Not at all.
Because I'm typically a 3-inning game guy anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'm there for the fanfare in the beginning and watch batting practice and what the guys are doing.
Well, you used to go and get a bucket of popcorn, and all it was a giant. This was popcorn from a giant bag from Costco.
Yeah,
that was about 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
That they'd pour into a bin.
And now it's
heated
and
up.
everything's fresh now.
Freshly popped, kettle corn, the whole 9 yards.
What was your favorite? Would you rather go back? Did you have a hot dog yesterday?
Yes.
Did you have a hot dog yesterday?
No.
Did you have a hot dog yesterday?
I did not.
What did you eat yesterday?
The Cardiff crack sandwiches.
Oh my God. So Cardiff crack, by the way, is burgundy peppercorn tri-tip that they call Cardiff crack because it's from Cardiff Seaside Market.
Yes.
And it's addictive.
Yeah.
Did you have some?
I did.
Did you have some crack?
How could you not?
Anybody have crack except for me and James? I didn't have any crack.
Grace didn't get it.
I did, however. Have you ever looked inside of an industrial sausage press, James? I went ahead and ate a hot dog anyway.
Did you?
I went ahead and ate a hot dog anyway. I can't, honestly, every time I go to a baseball game, I have to. Of course. And I don't care. Listen, all the wonderful foods I just talked about, I don't go there because I want a hot dog and some peanuts and a beer. And that's it.
You go in ahead of time knowing that the hot dog is made of lips and a-holes. Okay? So there's no surprise.
And wrapped in pork belly.
And whatever's on the sluicing floor.
But you don't think about it.
I love hot dogs, though.
No.
I don't pay attention to what.
And they were good hot dogs. Do you know what God bless our viewers in Los Angeles. Do you know the worst hot dog on the planet is? Dodger dog. It's horrible.
It's long.
It's long and horrible.
Long and skinny.
It's like
It's not that good.
It's not. Do you know what they need though? I would rather have a rolled up couple pieces of fried bologna in there. Right? Oh, here we go. Mike's getting teary-eyed again.
Fried bologna.
You got him. You got him.
Breakfast sandwich. Oh, that sounds so good.
Remind you of the days your mom used to make those for you? Did she poke the hole in the bologna so it wouldn't make the bologna hat?
Of course.
Because, you know the bologna hat, the bologna serape?
Yeah.
Right?
You had to cut it. It's like venting an apple pie when you bake it. Oh, Mom.
Did you just?
Yes, I did.
Did you just compare bologna to Mama's apple pie?
Your mom didn't
baseball, hot dogs, bologna, and Chevrolet. That's right. I remember do you remember the Matt? Do you remember the baseball, hot dogs, bologna? It was baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet, not bologna and Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Did you? Now, does anyone here? Because you're a traditionalist.
Sure.
From Cincy.
Yes.
Do you harken back to the days of just the regular? Or are you happy they have all this stuff?
No, I like it a lot, but I'm still going to go for my brat.
I know.
How do you not have a brat?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, some yellow mustard, maybe throw some sauerkraut on there.
Oh.
How do you not go there?
Eudemus.
You know, where do we stand on pickle relish on a hot dog?
Love it.
Dill.
Yeah.
It's got to be dill. Can't be sweet.
Oh, you
Oh, yeah.
You don't
Dill.
like sweet, yeah.
Hate
Yeah,
sweet.
Sweet is so
No.
friggin' disgusting.
Oh, really?
Bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Geez, there goes our dill sweet.
Sorry, Del Monte.
Sorry, Heinz.
Sponsorship.
So now, are you a mustard on the bottom, dog, mustard on top?
Nope. No.
How do you play it?
Bun, dog, mustard, chopped onion. I'm ready to go.
I like that.
Nothing else.
No little mustard back on top?
Nope.
Little
I'm
trickle?
good. I'm good.
I do a
It's
little
too much
ketchup on
mustard. And
You put ketchup on your hot dog?
I do.
That is.
Thank you, Trace.
More,
Get out of
Thank
here.
you.
more,
Just
no,
leave.
listen. More people put ketchup on their hot dog than I think they put mustard these days.
I would prefer only ketchup.
Can I tell you my snack? My snack in high school, coming back from Friday night football game or something like that, we would have my dad always had a 14-gallon jug of barbecue sauce in the fridge.
Okay, go on.
Raw hot dog
Go on.
in the barbecue sauce.
Oh, dip it in.
7 or 8 of those raw.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then the next morning,
Yeah.
Mom and Dad's cold pizza.
Oh.
It was 2 of the 4 food groups. Actually 3. Barbecue
Absolutely.
sauce,
Yes.
raw hot dogs, cold pizza.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were built like this.
Of course.
We were
young, you could
we
get
were
away
going
with
out
we
and
were
burning
built like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the next day you were going to be outside.
This is Mike's head.
The next day you're going to be outside burning it off for 10 hours.
Yeah.
Be back here for dinner. Now go.
I found myself yesterday thinking to myself, God, I don't want to feel full. I'll have just this one hot dog And okay, maybe I have another bag of peanuts. By the way, I believe they're doing things to our food, our snack foods, not nefariously, but to get us more addicted to them. For example, I found out yesterday, and I thought correctly because I was eating peanuts. You crack open the peanuts, which is my favorite thing to do at a ball game.
Sure.
They didn't just taste like salt; they tasted like pickle juice. There was nothing on the label that said pickle juice. Okay. I went online, and they are now brining their peanuts in pickle juice. Yes, and then they are roasting them.
Oh, yum.
With sprinkles of salt.
That sounds
Until they're golden brown. And you don't know it doesn't smell like it, but you're eating it.
I'll be done.
I can't stop eating this.
Yeah.
Just like I can't stop eating dill pickles.
You know what? Somebody just mentioned the other day that one of the tricks to good Southern fried chicken is to brine it not only in buttermilk, but brine it in pickle juice
There you go.
the night before.
Well, David Garofalo is from the land of pickle juice. He's going to talk about gold coming up next.
I'm going to eat my cookie.
From the Loft 100 studios to the cloudy Southern California, Mike Costner, Herbert Godwin, Greg Todoroff, of course, the man Sully.
I'm just looking at how many games how much money the Padres were spending on payroll.
A lot.
I just can't seem to get out of that conversation today. Oh, we did have a great time yesterday at the game, but boy,
Great time.
I think we should. I just don't even know what to say about the amount of money we're spending. And once again, you think it's hard to be a Cubs fan? It's not hard to be a Cubs fan. It's hard to be a San Diego anything fan.
Yes, pretty much.
As always, my whole life.
Me
Our
too.
whole life.
Well, Chicago, look at the Chicago fan. You've got
Yeah, but they'll talk about the Cubs and stuff like that.
you got the big four. You can pivot to anything you want if one of those is not doing well. San Diego, we got Padres, and then, well, we got the Padres. And then we have,
Yeah, right.
that type of thing.
Hey, David Garofalo is with us. David Garofalo, of course, is becoming our gold expert on the program. He's the chairman and CEO of Gold Royalty Corp. They are publicly traded under the stock symbol GROY, and they are in the business of fighting inflation. I'm going to say, right? Don't you think? They are in the gold royalty business, and of course, every time we talk to him, we never get enough time with him. So I thought I could bring him back more often, so we can ask him more stuff. Dave, thanks for coming by today. I got a question here. If you think in terms of the last thing we were talking about last week was interest rates, and being very bullish for gold, it's interesting because you saw some really horrible numbers in terms of inflation yesterday, and we had an S&P record yesterday. This sort of all points to the fact that people are looking for other places people are trying to take advantage of investing, and I think that is more bullish for gold than any of them, don't you think? I mean, what happened yesterday in the S&P tells me that, okay, we got to fight this ourselves. I'm going to go buy more gold. I'm going to go buy more stocks. I'm going to go buy more real estate to hedge my bets. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think the concern is that paper currency is being debased, as it has been for 50 plus years. It's been a one-way trade on the US dollar, and it's been downwards. The purchasing power of the US dollar has gone down 96% since the US government abandoned the gold standard in the early 1970s. The amount of paper that's being printed can go up infinitely. It's just limited by the printing press, whereas gold is very finite. And we're in a real negative interest rate environment, not a positive one, even though nominal rates have gone up. And that's driving capital into gold as well. You are basically, if I understand it correctly, a gold royalty company can insulate investors from cost inflation. And the reason is because you're providing yet another opportunity to maybe hedge against. I mean, look, if that's the reason when I say if gas prices go up, go buy a couple shares of Chevron. Go buy a couple shares of ExxonMobil. What you're going to make on the stock, it makes up for what you're losing at the pump. You're sort of doing the same thing here when folks invest in gold royalty companies. Talk about the hedge against cost inflation. Yeah,
or
absolutely.
insulation.
Yeah, what we have is top line exposure. In other words, we get a percentage of the gross revenue from a mine. And we really don't care what their operating costs at the mine site. And mining companies, unfortunately, they're not immune from inflation we're experiencing in the general economy. They use a lot of energy, they use a lot of labor, and we're seeing significant cost escalation there. But because as a royalty holder, we only get a percentage of the top line of the revenue, we're really not worried about whether their operating costs or their capital expenditure is inflating in any significant fashion. Not only that, but we also have exposure to their exploration upside. So they're going to drill out their deposits and grow them geologically. Our royalties extend to those that growth in the reserves as well, not just on the existing reserves at a point in time.
David, because of the financial atmosphere we're in currently, you get the sense that mining companies are digging harder, digging faster, kind of widening their breadth of where they're looking for gold?
They're facing existential risks because the juniors in our space, the explorers, have not had access to capital for a dozen years. It's been a nuclear winter for them. And they're the ones that do all the heavy lifting and exploration. They're the ones that make the major discoveries. It's not the big guys. The big guys build, the big guys operate, but they don't discover. And as a result, you're seeing this significant cannibalization of the big guys. They're merging with each other, but that's a zero-sum game. They're at the same production levels they were at 30 years ago. I'm talking about the big senior companies in the space. And their share price is actually down from what it was in the late 1990s when the gold price was a tenth of what it is today, because they haven't been able to grow production. They just have been able to grow the share count.
What's interesting, though, is your philosophy, and I want people to understand this. I want you to explain your philosophy as a gold royalty company, because you're not actually mining gold. You're not actually prospecting or an exploration company. You're sort of at the top of the food chain there. You're a little bit all the above. Explain how that works.
We're a bank. You know, we're providing capital to the explorers, the developers, and the operators who lack capital. You know, the general equity markets have ignored mining companies for a long period of time. So they've turned to the royalty and streaming companies to provide them the capital they need to build and explore and operate their mines and expand them and optimize them. And what we take back in return is a royalty on their property. We get a percentage of their top line. We get paid before anybody else as mines produce gold.
If you think into breaking into free cash flow, this is your year. Have you guys done that yet? Are we still projecting that, as you mentioned in your first interview with us?
Yeah, in the first quarter of this year, we had positive free cash flow, which is remarkable for a startup company. We started as a concept on literally the back of a napkin in a cafe locally here, and built this royalty company from
Sure it was a cafe, David. Sure it was a cafe. We all know where you were at. You gold miners were in
a fully licensed cafe.
You were in a but go ahead. But that's interesting, though. You guys got together and said we should do this to continue that story.
Yeah, so we started with 18 royalties and some development stage assets on a company we were spun out of, Gold Mining Inc., which is also listed on the NYSE American. And then we started rolling up our peer companies, over 250 royalties today across the Americas, with a heavy concentration in Nevada, Quebec, and Ontario, which perennially are three of the top 5 jurisdictions in the world in which to mine gold.
The interesting part about this thing is this, when you think, well, first of all, when you think about gold mining companies, you think about a saloon door. But when you think about we getting together, talk about that management team, because you do have a bulletproof management team. We don't ever talk about all those guys. Give those guys a little bit of love on the air here.
Well, there are a lot of guys, unfortunately for them, that look like me sitting around the table. They're gray-haired guys who've been doing this for 30 plus years.
Don't you guys have 400 years of collective experience in your business in that company?
We do, which is remarkable when you consider we only have 8 employees and we have 6 directors. So we have 14 people that I'm talking about that collectively give 400 years of industry experience. So not only do they have industry experience, they're not just bankers, they're mine builders and operators, which gives us 2 distinct advantages. We have a clear-eyed view of the underlying risk of what we're investing in, but also we have access. We can call up anybody in the industry because many of us have run bulge bracket mining companies in the past. I ran the 3rd biggest gold producer in the world up until 2019. I ran one of the biggest copper producers for 6 years as well. I was with the 2nd biggest producer in the world for a dozen years as CFO. And that's really a recurring theme across our C-suite and board. Leveraging those relationships has allowed us to access opportunities before our competitors were even aware of them. And has allowed us to grow almost exponentially in a 3-year period. Yeah,
it's the name of the company, of course, is Gold Royalty Corp. They are publicly traded under the stock symbol GROY. You know, Mrs. Garofalo has said to him at some point, why couldn't you get in the diamond business?
I've done that too.
Hey, last of all, before I let you out of here, I literally only have about 30 seconds left. What are you looking most forward to here in the next quarter?
Well, look, we have a royalty on what's going to be Canada's second biggest producing gold mine. Just started production in March. That represents a significant leg of growth. And this year, our revenue is doubling from last year. And that's why we're in positive free cash flow and positive earnings territory.
Very good. Wow. Good stuff. Thank you, buddy. David Garofalo, GROY. Coming up next, we're going to talk about Mike's lap band procedure that's coming up with our friends from Reshape Life Sciences.
It is the Big Biz Show live from the Loft 100 studios. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, we always appreciate you being along for the ride. Costa, Mary Godwin, Greg Todoroff, and our man Sully. Driving the ship.
He's like, thanks for coming along.
No.
Thanks, Greg. We are brought to you by Prudential. Let Prudential be your rock for retirement. Also brought to you by Bayer Advanced, better science, better results. It's fertilizer. It ain't aspirin.
Learn the hard way.
Starbucks coffee. Bayer Advanced, better science, better results. Starbucks coffee. And they're, are you a Starbucks still?
Oh, yeah.
I'm back into Starbucks now.
Big time. And my kids are, all the teens are doing it.
Oh my God.
Bloomin' Brands and their fine family of restaurants, including Outback Steakhouse.
Delicious.
Delicious.
Authentic.
What do you know about Outback Steakhouse? That it's delicious and I love it. Remember the other day we were talking about Red Lobster?
Oh my God.
Tuesday? Big Biz Show. Big Biz Show. All right. Paul Hickey. Paul Hickey, we could have talked to for an hour a couple weeks ago, and we unfortunately had just 8 minutes. And I thought, let's bring him back and talk about just something me and Mike talk about often. Mike and I go for walks. He's painfully slow. And that's why I bring a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
Sometimes when he gets tired, and he's so we're walking down. He's eating fire Funyuns because I'm immensely strong. But when we talk, when Mike and I go on our walks, when I'm pushing him up the Grapevine,
yes,
here in California, on the 5 Freeway North, we talk about metabolic bariatric surgery, a vastly underused treatment. I'm not kidding when I say that because Paul Hickey is the president and CEO of a company called Reshape Life Sciences. And they are in the business of bariatric surgery. They've carved themselves a niche in the market for what's called minimally invasive bariatric surgery. So basically what they're doing, it's what is, I think, known as the lap band system, which means and he's going to slap me around a little bit when I say this wrong. But imagine your stomach being like a football, and let's say it's partway inflated, and you take the top of the football and just squeeze it so you got a little ball here and the big ball here. This little pouch up here, as he called it, if you get full when your stomach's filled up, right?
Right.
Well, if your stomach's only this big, you're filled up fast.
Quicker.
I think that's right. I give you Paul Hickey, the president and CEO. By the way, their company stock symbol is RSLS. How are you, Paul? How did I do there? Was that?
Yeah, I love the analogy. I'm a sports guy, so football analogy I'll start using myself. But
is that the national champion?
That is indeed.
Yeah. Excuse me. I see.
Go blue.
See a moment.
Go blue.
Go blue.
Victor's
go blue.
Bye-bye, blue. Concrete heroes.
Let's go. Did we? Yeah. Okay. Do we end up? Is he going to be Charger coach? Will he be the Chargers coach?
He is.
Now?
Jimmy Harbaugh?
It's done?
Yeah, it's done.
He is. His first draft just happened a couple weeks ago.
See, I've been busy watching the Phillies.
That's okay.
All right, Hickey, tell us what's going on. How close did I come there with the pouch analogy? Because when you explained this last time, I'd think, well, the reason there's a little pouch there is because when you fill up your stomach, you're still eating till you get to here, then you stop eating. I'm not hungry anymore. So what you're doing is that right?
Exactly. And
I'm sorry. Did you say exactly?
I said exactly. No,
exactly.
I think it's a good analogy to use. I explain it the same way to people at times. It's adjustable, so you can take that same football, and if you can't eat enough or you're eating too much, you can tighten it or loosen it, depending on your tolerance for that therapy.
Paul, do people make the mistake of, and this is a mistake I would certainly make, hey, I got the surgery or I got the implantation.
Let's go have Funyuns.
Let's go to Golden Corral 24/7. I mean, how much is?
But the problem is you can eat a teaspoonful. Right before you get full.
Right,
but you're eating stuff you want to eat. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's it. But how much is that mental gymnastics also part of the equation where you've got to do a lot of lifestyle altering?
Yeah, it's, I think as you read up on the disease of obesity and people who are struggling fighting that disease, you realize it's not just, behavior and modification of one part of your life, right? Your foods that you eat certainly aren't helpful in sort of driving and feeding that disease and causing you to have an issue with your weight. Certainly mental health is tailwind for obesity, and there's other things, other factors, but these surgeries have to be punitive, and it's one element of it. When you go out to eat after Outback, after whether it's a lap band or a gastric sleeve bypass, you're just not you're not going to feel as hungry to go into Outback, and secondarily you're not going to be able to eat very much at all. The surgeries, by and large, don't tolerate large amounts of food consumption. So yeah, it's going to be a light bill at the end of your stay at Outback.
And Paul, I had a question about the GLP-1s, that Ozempic and all the other drugs that are on the market now. How is that? Do they work in tandem with the lap band, or those seem to be in question as how safe they are to take, and are they being overused? Do you need to do them in tandem, or you would just get the lap band procedure?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's sort of a historic time for obesity and the obesity market. And the GLP-1s, were introduced late 22, but really hit the market in 23 with supply chain issues and other things hitting last year for the companies that provide those. But the onset of those is allowing people that are going to avoid surgery to start talking to their healthcare professional to try drugs. And these drugs, GLP-1s, are very helpful, very beneficial. And there are questions out there with them, but there's no question in my mind they're here to stay. What we're seeing is we're getting people who are on the sidelines, not really addressing their weight and the disease of obesity, and they're starting to talk to their healthcare professionals about potentially getting on GLP-1s. Those that do are going to likely plateau between 12 and 18 months. You can only lose so much weight with the GLP-1s, and that's where we're seeing combination therapy, where someone may have gotten a taste of weight loss with the GLP-1s and they've plateaued. They're 300 pounds, they've lost 20%. Now they're down to 240 and want to lose another 40 pounds or more. They might look at a bariatric surgery, and that's where we think the lap band is well positioned for that. But you're right. There's combination therapy. You can try the GLP-1s, Wegovy, Zepbound, Ozempic by itself, and see how you tolerate that. And for some, that might be the best and the only therapy needed. But I think for many others, we're going to see more aggressive procedures, including the bariatric surgeries that are performed necessary for those individuals.
Paul Hickey, the pride of Ann Arbor, Michigan, President CEO, Reshape Life Sciences, stock symbol RSLS, with us here on the Big Biz Show.
Hey, I got a question because you sent me an article, Paul, regarding, or I think it was you, regarding bariatric surgery being a vastly underused treatment. Here's my question, and I want you to move my needle on this, because I know for me, if I start moving my okay, and eating right, and you can see me on TV going from here to here to here to here to here over the years of being on television. Yet they say obesity is a disease. Now, if it is a disease, which I sort of believe it is, because I see some people that don't eat anything and they're still and they can't seem to lose weight. I think that is a metabolic or physiological thing. But very quickly, if it's just a matter of, I think your technology has proved that the opposite. Because if these big giant people, which I was one of, I was a taco shy of 400 pounds at one point, one more burrito.
Yep.
Back this is 30 years ago. The fact of the matter is I couldn't do anything until, if I were walking into your office today, I bet you'd say your success rate is going to be about 95%. Now, that doesn't mean it's a disease. You just cured something in me. I'm eating less. You're not, right? So move my needle on how that works, please.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think that's something that has to gain more understanding to the general population. Why is it a disease? It's been thought of so long as just bad habits and lack of activity, lifestyle, right? Food, diet, and lifestyle. The fact is that there's so much that goes on with their hormones and your desire to eat, and the brain, I think, becomes imbalanced with the stomach, and ultimately drives more hunger, less satiety, so you don't feel as full with the same amount of food as you eat.
Yeah.
A lot of studies have been out there just sort of showing that food is a part of this, where the large cohort of individuals were studied over in Europe, and one cohort of the study had just normal diet and caloric intake. The other one, they put on an artificial sweetener, but the same calorie intake. What they found was that the cohort that had the artificial sweetener actually just ate more during the day because of that feeling, that addiction. It's not truly an addiction, but that the hormone release when people see a food they like, or smell a food they like, or taste a food they like.
His name is Paul Hickey. Paul, I can tell you what, we want to have you back again and again, because every time we talk to you, this could be an hour. I think we should do a special on this. Okay, and we should get a couple guys with our voices, say, hey, look what we did. We could act like we were on it. Because the question I'm dying to ask him is this. Apparently obesity is not a disease, because I can cure you by you eating less, and I can make you eat less.
But how many,
so is it a disease anymore?
And how many people?
Paul Hickey for president, by the way. You're coming in San Diego, pal. It's not a big ass.
How many are technically obese that don't even know, that have no clue? They're like, I'm healthy.
Yeah, right. RSLS is the stock symbol. You can go to reshapelifesci.com. You're going to see more of him. I promise you. I'm going to hunt him down and make him come to see it. Could we?
It is the Loft 100 Studios in Southern California. Wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, as always, thanks for being along with us on the large financial program.
Are you out of snacks from?
Yeah.
Did they de-snack the set?
They de-snacked the set. Costa, Maryburg, Godwin, Greg Todoroff, Sully.
I have to tell you, I was walking into the ballpark yesterday, and the first thing you smell is the hot dog thing for me.
Oh, yes.
But then the second I turn the corner, then I'm smelling Cardiff Crack, which is, again, burgundy peppercorn tri-tip.
Yep.
And then I'm starting to smell, there's a fantastic churro stand.
Ooh.
Now,
we had little churro balls.
Yes, we had churro. I mean, the churro-like thing for me is I just can't even go over there.
I can't say no.
I can't say no either.
I think I could buy, you can buy churros at Costco, allegedly. I think I could power down 5 churros in less than 5 minutes.
Can I give you, there is a great restaurant in Los Angeles. It's called, it's everywhere. It's called Mastro's. Do you know what Mastro's is doing these days?
No, what?
They're giving you a bowl of vanilla ice cream that has the then they pour a little bit of vanilla extract on it and cinnamon, and then inside are these mini churros with salted caramel for dipping.
Okay.
Wow. Nice.
Well, I have a question.
That is the lobster of dessert.
Yeah.
So
is it not?
It's proof there is a God.
Let me ask you this. In Caesar's Palace, they sell these specialty churros, but they have stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that. No, I'm a purist. I'm not a fan.
It's a churros combo.
I want my
But you like combos. You like combos.
No, but I don't mix the combo. I eat them separately.
But the combo has the crap
my
inside of
fries
it.
and my burger.
No, I'm not talking about combo. I'm talking about, the snacks called combos. We talked about this.
That's all stuff with cheese.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
oh my God, let's roll. We need to roll tape. We need to roll tape. We need to roll tape. You said you like combos. That's like the corn snack with the cheese inside of it.
But then we threw
think I said
combos your way.
Have you ever had aerosol cheese?
I've never even had a combo.
Absolutely.
Do you still like aerosol cheese?
Straight from the can. And on a crazy day,
by the way,
some Biko Bits chaser.
Anytime you have to use your index finger to get the product out, like
exactly.
Whipped cream.
Oh my God.
My daughter used to call it whoop cream. She still calls it whoop cream.
Whipped cream?
Whoop cream.
Cool.
And then now, as long as we're talking about this, you got we spend a lot of time talking about food in this program. I don't know why. The Cheese Whiz, but then there's the Philly cheese, not Cheese Whiz. There's the aerosol cheese, but what's the stuff in the bottle?
The Tostitos.
No, the stuff they make Philly cheesesteaks out of.
Oh.
It's actually Cheese Whiz.
Cheese Whiz.
Yeah, because the stuff in the aerosol can is something else.
Right. I think that the Cheese Whiz is basically just a chunk of Velveeta that's been forced into.
Where do we stand on Velveeta?
I'm great with Velveeta.
Velveeta? Velveeta?
Been a while.
Yeah.
What about American singles?
Absolutely.
On a sandwich?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
You ever do? I don't.
Bologna?
Mike, I know you've done this before. Peel it open. Start this.
Of course.
Cheese ball.
On.
Cheese ball.
Gets a little darker, but it's still eating.
What are you supposed to clean?
Oh, you mean washing your hands?
Mike ran out of silly putty. So he went to the Sunday Comics, just took his American cheese roll, like he got Batman's head on and ate it. You know he did. I asked you before the program to come up with some research on what is, we had a baseball night in San Diego back about 10 or 15 years ago because of a man named Larry Lucchino, who was the owner. And he tried to make baseball night in San Diego affordable for a family of 4, where you got 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, and I think a program, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you did get a program.
And it was a round figure. I don't remember what it was, but it was very reasonable.
Yes.
It was like almost like $100, like versus the 500. What does it cost a family for? Oh, do we not want to hear this? No.
Well, back in 2004, 4 tickets, 4 dogs, 4 sodas, and your free program, $44. $44.
No way.
$11 a person.
$44. 2024, the 4 dogs, the 4 tickets, those 4 sodas, $140 for your family of 4. And that's no program.
Now listen. Now.
Can't keep score.
No program. How much does the program cost? $20?
I think programs are $10 maybe.
Do you think? I sort of feel with, and and by all means, I'm an independent. I'm not a right wing or left wing at all, and people will tell you that I will find fault in all of them. And I will make you think about it. And Mary and I have moved each other's needle over the years, but I can tell you that I think that there is a responsibility when you're paying athletes what you're paying them to maybe take a little easy on the people that are paying the salaries. Who are paying the salaries?
Yeah.
Viewers of television, consumers of your chips and soda and hot dogs, and ticket buyers. Those are the only 3 categories of revenue.
Right? Arthur Blank, who owns the Atlanta Falcons football team, he knew his fans were hurting, and so he reduced a couple of different items on the menu. He brought a beer down to $5. He brought a hot dog like down to $2. He brought chips and sodas and stuff down to $1. Sold 4 times as much concessions.
Well, that's the Laffer curve. That is the Laffer curve. Art Laffer, who was an advisor to Ronald Reagan during the 80s, said you need to lower taxes because that which is easier to collect will be collected.
Yes.
If you make it so you can't collect it, people say, I'm not going to give you any of it.
Yeah.
I ain't got it. I'm not even put something down on it.
And he's a hero in Atlanta because he did that for the Falcons.
Am I sounding too socialist to say that a privately held company has a responsibility to its consumers to lower their prices? Listen, that would be like say, I don't have a real good reason for it, but I'm just thinking this is a pastime. You know, you want the kids there, okay? You don't just want the kids that live in certain zip codes there. You want all the kids there.
Yeah. And the players want fans in the stands.
Yeah.
They want people there supporting them and cheering for them.
I don't know. It's a tough bet because I'm categorically against making someone especially because the guys that own that team risked everything at some point, unless it was generational wealth. But then their family did. At some point, somebody took the risk. Right. And you don't get perspective unless you sign the front of a paycheck. Okay.
Yeah, but I was having a conversation with Matt before a show recently. We were talking baseball, and if you're an owner, even if the prices aren't going to come down, at least get out and touch your fans and know that they know, or let them know that you know that they're feeling it in the wallet, and in some areas.
And look at it, maybe at that point you start talking to the people and looking at the kids and realizing, let's do something. Because I think that's what Larry Lucchino did.
Well, I think this might be one of those things where when they shrunk the stadiums, because they did.
Right.
You were saying you referred to Jack Murphy Stadium, and that was what, 70,000 seats?
Well, it started at 63, then they added 70, and it cost us stadium.
Right. And now everything has shrunk, so they don't have the flexibility. As much as they did before, anyway.
But beer does not cost $5 a beer.
Right. Now I see what you're saying.
I wish
Here's
it was
a smart
$5
place to do
a
it.
beer.
They're going to keep drinking it.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
One more day, one more sleep till the weekend. We'll see.
Oh boy.